Good morning, preppers.
Good morning.
Happy day to all of you. We went to the farmer's market.
We did.
And we picked up 2 half bushels or 2 bushels. We picked up a lot of tomatoes because they're actually at a really good price. We have a few in front of us now. And we're going to show you how we cut them up, dice them up, take off any like little bad spots that might be there, blend them, and then squeeze out all the seeds and everything, which I'm going to keep the seeds.
Yes.
And then we're going to make in the freeze dryer tomato paste.
Tomato
powder.
Yeah, we're gonna do tomato paste that turns into tomato powder.
Right. So we're gonna, yeah, exactly right. All right. So as you can see, some of the big, beautiful ones here. Just real quick, we're going to cut out some little pieces like this, and then sorry, you hear the dishwasher going in the background. We had to get it done. We're going to cut out pieces like this, throw it in the bowl, and just chop it up into chunks that fits into our Ninja, and then let the Ninja take care of the rest of it, and we'll go from there. All right.
Yep.
Gonna do a little bit of cutting.
Yep. Let's do this.
All right. So.
I love this tomato knife. I don't know if you guys own a tomato knife, but they are like the coolest things ever.
Look at that.
Yeah, they're
I don't know about you, but I love tomatoes. All right, so as far as size goes, whatever fits inside your blender, the biggest thing is you really want to puree it as much as possible. Now, as far as like bruises and stuff goes, bruises on tomatoes for this process still works just fine. Let's see, there's a little, yeah, here we go. This is perfect. So this has a couple little bruises on there. They'll actually work just fine. However, and even if the whole tomato is kind of mushy, you can still do this too. But when the tomatoes get moldy, that's where the problem comes in. Even if we have a couple that has a little bit of mold spots, which I don't know if we do, you just got to be careful because the mold can go into the tomato. So you could, in essence, cut off the moldy part just as long as you're getting it on the inside as well. And that's what we're going to do if we come across any moldy ones. We have a couple little moldy ones we'll do. So anyways, we're going to be here for hours cutting tomatoes up, tons on the counter still, and then next step is blend them up. So let's go ahead and go to the blending stage and we'll show you what that looks like.
All right, time to filter out all the seeds from the tomatoes. I have this lovely Weston food mill. It comes with 3 different sizes. I typically use it for applesauce season, which is here coming up, but I pour this in here and we'll filter it through. That way it gets the seeds and all that out of it. Now, you can buy the cone ones, but this one works really well for us. I bought this one off of Amazon. I will link it in below. I've had it. This is going on our 5th year of using it, so I really like it. Look at this gorgeous bowl of tomato soup. Not just tomatoes. Okay, we're going to line these pans with parchment paper, and then we're going to pre-freeze them. All right, I don't dare go anymore. That's pretty full. All right, we're gonna go put them in the freezer.
Okay, the freeze dryer is cooling the chamber, getting ready. And you can see we have the tomato sauce, tomato paste, whatever we want to call it, frozen from the freezer. Now, notice we actually have these little black stackers on here. They make life so much easier. In fact, I'll put a link for these in the description below. All right, so once our chamber is ready, we'll throw them in and start the process. Chamber is nice and cold. Drain valve is closed. Let's load it up. All right, I set it up so it's going to go at least 12 hours longer for the freeze dry time. It's going to take a while. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, lots of liquid, 37 hours in our freeze dryer. Let's take it out. How exciting. Now, being perfectly dry is important. You can see it's almost like styrofoam on there. It's really cool. Ashley, if you want to work on this first one,
okay.
Just obviously pull the parchment paper up so it all goes in the bowl.
And look at that, no mess. Oh, you can smell the fresh.
Just make sure you break it before you
Oh, it smells so yummy. Do you want to break it before?
Yeah, I would do like, there you go.
Whoa, this is weird. Wow.
Styrofoam tomatoes.
It's not real. So weird. Want to work on that one?
Still wet. Okay, try 2. When we took out this pan, which you can see is all crinkly and crumbly, it was sticking to the parchment paper because it was still not completely dry after 36 hours. Now, granted, that 36 hours also included the freezing time too, even though we actually put them in the freezer until they were solid. It happens like that. And the freeze dryer, even though you can actually predict certain times to get things down, sometimes you just need to test it.
Yep.
And if this weren't for on camera, I would have let the machine keep going. We would have tried it and put it right back in again. But of course, to be able to talk, you have to turn the machine off because it's not like super loud. We keep it in our kitchen. We have no problem talking. But for the camera, it would just drown it out. All right, so now let's try 2. And we're going to take a look at all of it. And now, yep, look, all comes right off. So the thing is, one of the things that the manual tells you is make sure that you never want to go above the sides of this. And I mean, obviously you don't want it spilling over as far as like tomato sauce goes, but even more importantly, if it's too thick, it simply has a harder time freezing all of it.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
It's like, it literally is like styrofoam that you can eat.
Why don't they ship stuff in this? And that way you can get your goods and, oh yeah.
It's a new invention. Yeah, look at how
Perfectly
that just came
dry
off
now.
clear.
Yeah. So again, you can actually write down the times if you want to do it doing this, but sometimes you have to get a feel for it. And the more time you spend with it, the more you know how the machine works. So in reality, you could probably get a spoon to smush all this down, but a couple pair of clean hands will work. I didn't have any clean hands, so I just used mine. So did
I saw it.
unclean hands. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna get a spoon. And look at this. It just breaks apart.
I wouldn't recommend biting into it.
All right. Oh wow. Spoon smushing works much better. I don't know why, but this is entertaining. It's weird how this was a bowl of tomatoes.
Yeah.
And now it's all just tomato powder. Now, you don't have to actually smush it so it's just all complete powder. Because you can actually put little bit chunks in when you reconstitute it. You want to grab those things, Ashley?
Yeah.
And while I'm smushing this, we'll reconstitute it, see what it looks like. So obviously, we're going to put this in a Mylar bag in a second with an oxygen absorber. And it'll store indefinitely like this. 25 years, 30 years, easily eating tomatoes during the apocalypse. All right, so I would just take a little bit, Ashley. You don't need to take a... Yeah, go ahead and put it in there. So she's simply just going to put a little bit in here. You can put it toward the camera so they can see.
There's a clump in there. I did that. It's all crunchy, or not crunchy.
And as far as adding water goes, don't stress about how much water to add. You do it until you get the sauce consistency that you're looking for.
So weird.
And at one point, when we were first starting this, we thought we'd put this into our blender, and although you could, there's no need. It's easy enough to smush it all
that
up.
was not even that wasn't even a teaspoon I took out of that.
Here,
so
put it way up there.
you can see its consistency. And you could add more water to make it thinner, or if you want it thicker, you can. But for fresh tomatoes, it smells still like tomatoes.
Yeah, and you could, if you wanted to, even put in the spices to make like spaghetti sauce or whatever you want. And that way, when you pull it out, it's pretty much ready to go.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that came
I like
up
that.
right here.
Wow, that's good.
Okay, so let me get out a bag. And we'll use one of our
Do you need a measuring cup or no?
Harvest Right bags. Now, we'll just need something to scoop it in. We'll use a spoon.
I can't, it's wet. Oh,
Oh,
that
it's
one?
good.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know if one bag's going to be enough to hold all this. You want to do the bag pulling, or you just
I'll do the hold so that way if it messes up, it's
you blame it on me? Get back up a little bit, please. There you go. Having a giant bowl for this is very handy. It's so light. So light and fluffy tomatoes. So, Harvest Right, of course, does it all. They have, here, go ahead and clump it
I
down
was
for
gonna
me.
shake it.
Not only do they have a freeze dryer, different models of freeze dryers, extra pans, the stackers, which I showed you.
That was almost full, and look at that, by shaking it down.
But they sell the Mylar bags, they sell the oxygen absorbers, so it really takes a lot of the doubt out of how to do this. And one of my favorite things is having our impact sealer.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, that's
Go
my
ahead and press it
favorite.
down again.
That's my favorite thing is the sealer.
This sealer, you know, because I don't know if you know it, even though I love our food saver, the food saver is not designed to press Mylar bags. If you're going to be pressing Mylar bags, you're going to need something like an iron or an impact sealer like this.
I don't know,
Go right there.
I think we might dump some out because it's not going very flat.
Okay, we'll go ahead and dump a little bit out and then we'll seal it. So on this, if you're doing Mylar, put it about 7 or 8 almost to the top.
Do we need any oxygen absorber?
Oh, that would be helpful, wouldn't it? Well, why don't we fill up the second bag first?
Okay.
Get out of the way, sealer.
Is it my turn?
Yep.
I'm gonna dump it, but you can try.
But anyways, through Harvest Right, my favorite thing about this is, let's say that you bought these tomatoes from your farmer's market or grew them in your own yard, and suddenly you realize, oh, they're going to go bad soon, and I don't have time to do any canning or process them or eat them. You can simply, as you said, or as you saw, just chunk it up and put it into a blender and put it in the freeze dryer and kind of like forget it for like a day.
Yeah, I didn't even peel it or blanch it or anything. I just cut off the stems, and there was a couple pieces that looked a little maybe like it wasn't perfect, and I just threw them in the blender, and I mean, good gracious, that was easy.
Yeah, and that's it. I've had a lot of people say you have to blanch them first, but you do not have to blanch them. Now again, having some kind of press, which I'll put on the link in the description below too, to be able to press the seeds and stuff out of it, you can. But you can actually even take that seeds and stuff and dehydrate that. I don't know what you want to, for freeze dryers to say, I'm not sure what you want to do with that. I'm personally going to use the seeds to grow more tomatoes. That's what I'm going to do.
I've heard actually people say that they make the paste out of that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I have not done that,
There's
but
probably
they
got to be
took,
some serious vitamins in it.
yeah, they took the seeds
All right,
and all the
put your finger
skins. So, let me get this last scrape.
All right.
Get it all. It's all lovely tomatoes.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So it'll look pretty similar.
Yeah, that one's a little bit more full.
Yeah,
but
a little bit more. All right. Let me get 2 oxygen absorbers out.
I really think adding the spices to the tomatoes would really add it. So that way you have your pizza sauce or your spaghetti sauce already done. So.
And one of our followers said to press these twice just to be on the safe side. Although we haven't had any problem with these things popping open. Let me come over here.
Okay, I'm honestly not sure where you do it before or after.
All right, so again, if there's a notch, you do it between the notch and the end, so that way you can just rip it open. So the light will go out and tell you. And now it's sealed. But you know what? Do it twice to be twice as nice. Cool. How awesome is this? And again, taking leftovers, maybe went to the farmer's market, maybe it's your garden, you're able to process this now and have it last indefinitely. Mm-hmm. And especially as we're doing this with tomatoes, here we are all sealed up inside now. Doing this with tomatoes as we're coming into a tomato shortage is worth its weight in gold. So these will go right down into our food supplies, and some rainy day during the apocalypse, we'll enjoy some tomato sauce on something.
Yeah.
Spaghetti,
chili, spaghetti.
Chili. Goulash.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so again, in the description below, you can click on the link to see about getting a Harvest Right freeze dryer. Highly, highly recommend it, because prepping Honestly, we thought we were preppers before, but now this is awesome.
It upped the game.
And they have all these plans you can do to try to be able to, not try to, but be able to afford one. Because again, getting a big chunk to buy one right away is kind of tough. So they help you out with that. They actually have some different types of programs you can go ahead and check out. All right, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and check out our other videos too. Thanks so much for following along.